Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I'm going to be showing you a drift build for the Remus, which will allow you to drift this car to its fullest potential. Now in this video I'm going to be running you through all of the customization options you need to put on this car to get it sliding, and as well I'll provide some additional gameplay with some tips and tricks to have you drift in this car super easily. Now if you do go on to enjoy today's video, please do drop a like and consider subscribing for more, as I do other automotive content on the channel as well as a lot of drifting guides. Also, if there are any drift builds for any cars I currently haven't done yet that you'd like to see me do in the future, please do comment them down below and I'd be more than happy to make them. All that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video and let's get into it. So now we're going to get into the build itself. First I'll run you through the essentials if you want to get this car sliding, and then after that I'm going to go through the rest of the cosmetic options in case you want to replicate my build. Now first things first, I'd advise you to go ahead and equip the stock brakes, as upgrading your brakes is just going to slow down your momentum more if you do need to adjust your drift, and it can kill it off. Next up, I'd advise to go ahead and equip the low grip tires, as these go ahead and give you a lot less traction and make it a lot easier to initiate your drifts. Now as well as that, I'd recommend you go ahead and max out your performance upgrades, so turbo, engine and transmission. Go ahead and put those all to the maximum option, as you're going to need that extra power and you're going to need that better gearbox, so you can go ahead and utilize that mid-drive speed boost or double clutching a lot more, and also have more power to those rear wheels to get you sliding. As well as that, I'd also say leave the suspension stock, as with the new tuner cars, the lower the car is, the more grip it tends to have, which is confusing because it's the opposite of what the old cars used to do. But yeah, the higher up your suspension, the less grip it will have. As well as that, if you want this car to be absolutely sliding like crazy, I would also recommend that you leave the spoiler stock, as adding any additional spoiler, like changing the spoiler, will add a tiny bit of traction, but with the low grip tires it's very hard to notice, so it personally doesn't really affect it too much for me. Now looking at the cosmetic side of the car, I have maximum armor, removed trim, I have stock brakes. On the front bumper I use the sport bumper. On the rear I use the performance bumper. For the air filter I use the individual cone filter, as you can see here. For the engine block I'm using the secondary color valve covers. For the cam cover I use the primary one. For the strut brace I use the triangular one. Maxed out engine upgrades and the stock intercooler for the engine bay. Going on to the exhaust, I have these angled ones right here. I quite like how they look. On the fenders, I'm just using the single vent front fender, as you can see right there. For the grills, I'm using the grill delete option right here. Headlight covers are red. I have the secondary transparent hood, so you can get a good look at that engine. Haven't changed the horn. Interior, I use the flock dash and interior, using those stock dials right there. Got the primary color door cards, carbon race seats with the nice red seat belts, sprint featherweight steering wheel, dash dodger cage. Got the white lights, no neon kit. I'm using the performance branding white livery right here. Really like how this looks. I think it was a nice color combo to go with the red and the black. I thought the nice touch of white would be good. Got the blue on white license plate with the sideways plate. I like to use these on most of my drift cars. And now for the main colors, for primary I use lava red. For the secondary I'm using classic black. And for the pearlescent, once again I'm using black. That'll appear for any colors that will use the classic section. Trim color is black. Accent color is just the stock one that comes with the car. It's not like a selected option, which is kind of strange. Don't have any roof accessories or roof options, just left it stock. Went with the street side skirts, no sun strip to speak of. Went with the spoiler delete, kept it looking kind of clean. Stock suspension, max transmission. Went with the turbo tune, stock trunk. And we went with the tuner rims right here. I'm quite a fan of these ones. I think they look really nice on the S13. I don't know, they just look really nice in Japanese cars in general, in my opinion. But yeah, running those in the frost white color with no tire design, no custom tire lettering or anything, with the low grip tires, and using the red tire smoke to match the primary color, and I'm using the light smoke window tint. Now that is the build, so now I'm going to get into some gameplay with some tips and tricks. Hopefully you did enjoy the build though. Let me know your thoughts on it. I thought I'd give it kind of like a track kind of drift build sort of essence, but let me know your thoughts. A quick little tip here, by the way, for any of you trying to drift the tuners cars, go ahead and lower it for your interaction menu like this under the vehicle stance option, as this will reduce the grip the car has and allow you to drift it a lot easier. Now I'm going to get into some general pointers and some other tips and tricks you might want to keep in mind while you're trying to drift this car, while I get some gameplay in the background of me drifting using this build. Now first things first, I'd highly recommend, if you don't know it already, to go ahead and learn how to do the mid-drive speed boost, or double clutching as some people call it, as this will allow you to go ahead and chain your drifts together super easily, as you can go ahead and get power to the rear wheels whenever you need it. Okay, so you can go ahead and take the car through some super low speed portions and, you know, use the mid drive really quickly, and then boom, you got the speed carrying you through the corner, and it doesn't kill off your drift by you just going a bit slow. The car is fairly easy to handle, especially with these low grip tires. Drifting is not too difficult. Chaining your drifts together, transitioning, it's pretty fluid, nice and smooth the whole way through. So yeah, using the mid-drive speed boost will help with that a lot, so I'd highly recommend you learn how to do that. Some other things you want to keep in mind are that the car sometimes does have a tendency to kind of like want to spin out when you kind of put down a bit too much throttle in the corners. So when you're trying to enter a corner, trying to drift it, just be careful you're not putting down too much power, or the back end is just going to slide out from you, especially with those low grip tires on, and you won't see it coming until it's too late, and then the car's just going to spin out. But you can just carry it on from there, you can keep trying. So yeah, just regulate your throttle going into the corners, and using some counter steer motion with that too. That if you're wondering what that like wiggling of the wheels is, where you see me going left and right, that's me just trying to keep the car stable as I'm going through the corner, adjusting just so it doesn't spin out. So utilizing some counter steering, going ahead and making sure you're not putting down too much power, and using the mid-drive speed boost are all very, very key things that you're going to want for most drift builds in general, but this one in particular, that does help a lot. I will say that this car is not the most difficult by far. There are much harder cars, and for what it's worth, this car is pretty easy to get into in my opinion. You give this thing a little bit of practice, and soon enough it will be a breeze. It will just come naturally. It's a very fun car to go ahead and drift, and I'd highly recommend that you go ahead and try it. And I mean, like, everyone has it for free, I'm pretty sure anyway. It was like, what, the prize ride like last week. So if you were lucky enough to go ahead and grab it, then I recommend turning it into a drift build. It's pretty fun. But all of that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Now if so, please do go ahead and drop a like and consider subscribing for more. But as I said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.